Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something from Migron and something kind of heavy. This is, I don't know, maybe about twice as heavy as a normal Migron feels just by picking this up. So I'm gonna guess that there's something big and chunky in here. And Migron actually makes some of the less expensive, big, crazy, chunky knives out there. I mean, they're still very expensive, but just compared to the other stuff, the other comparable stuff from other companies, they tend to be on the lower end of the price spectrum there. So no idea what this is. I will open it up and share it with you guys. I'll also link it down in the description so that you guys can check it out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Migron for sending it in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. What could we possibly have here? Migron has become infinitely more interesting. They're already interesting, but they've become infinitely more interesting with their recent effort, like massive effort to increase their HRC ranges, not only in their upper tiers, but their budget tiers. The Migron Karoq, for example, one of the absolute greatest budget pocket knives of all time. I mean that. Just in terms of, I mean, you can think whatever you want about the blade shape, but it's a good design. It's a good utilitarian design, but mainly their D2 at 62 to 63, the combination of aluminum here and the button-operated liner lock. I mean, that's just amazing. It's really incredible. It's very hard to find anything even remotely similar within $10 of that. Pretty cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and open this up. I think they still have Karoqs on the website. You guys can check out. This is in the box that usually contains a premium knife, but they're kind of all over the place with, I don't know why that's still out here. They're kind of all over the place with the boxes that they use. So, so this is an Arma. We're very familiar with the Arma. Arma. I own 3 of them myself. Oh, so we're doing some lightning ammo. Oh boy, yes. Very cool. So, this is a standard, let me get it out. That looks awesome. This is a standard V1 Arma, not the Arma V2 with the contouring. This is a V1 Arma. And almost certainly, God, that's crazy, that finish on there. Almost certainly M390. So what's cool about that, their previous HRC range for M390 was, I think, 59 to 61. On certain models, it was as low as 58 to 60. Myself, many people complained about this, and not just with Migron, but with just companies across the board. And I want to be clear about this. It's not all steels are better when they're over 60. Certain steels have an optimal HRC range that, are right there at basically, in my opinion, 60 plus. Ask a million people, you'll get slightly different responses, but typically what you're going to find is that most people with even the slightest bit of surface level HRC knowledge, right? Even filthy casuals such as myself, who know the bare minimum about HRC and how it corresponds to steels like M390, will tell you that it should be probably at least 60 up to about 63. Some people will say 64. The problem is that it gets super brittle, and the brittleness really kind of does start around 62 plus. So this steel in particular has an optimal HRC range that is above 60, and then, like I said, up to about 63 or so. That doesn't mean that every single steel is like that. There are certain steels that are better at sub 60. There are other steels that are, really need to be about 66 or 67, like ZDP 189. So if you're newer, right, want to keep stressing this, it's not like 60 plus good, 59 or lower bad. You cannot blanket. You can't just use that as like a blanket solution to all steel or judge steels that way. It doesn't work that way. But with Migron increasing their HRC ranges, their M390 now should be pretty incredible. This is an incredibly thick geometry pocket knife because the blade stock thickness, I believe, is about 220 thousandths or so, 200 and maybe 235 thousandths or so. I don't know where the calipers are. The calipers are gone. It's just shy of a 1/4 inch on this model, right? This has a blade stock thickness that's very similar to the Medford Praetorian tie, just a little bit thinner, right? But as far as all of these big chunky knives, when I use the word overbuilt in this situation, I'm using the word overbuilt. It's crazy how the factory edge on this is really good. I mean, the geometry obviously is going to affect, certain cutting, like cutting certain materials, but just slicing paper, as you can see, it's got a plenty good factory edge to slice paper. But overbuilt in, how I'm using it here, it's just thickness of material. It's not meant to imply that this is somehow like a stronger knife, right? It's still a frame lock. Of all of the overbuilt knives that I have handled, I've handled knives that are overbuilt in many different contexts, right? Some are smaller than this. Some are much, much, much larger. Like the PMP Ultimate Alpha Beast is hilariously huge and super impractical. Of all of the overbuilt knives, because I would classify this as overbuilt, it's pretty thick titanium. It's definitely a thick blade stock. This is probably the most carryable and the easiest to manipulate. There's an Arma XL that is absolutely freaking enormous. There's the Geddon by Migron. They also make the Omega, which is even larger. There's knives by Midgard's Messer and Max Ace that are absolutely hulking and crazy. And those knives are super duper fun. They're fun. Like, I own a bunch of those, and it's fun. But if you've ever wanted to actually EDC an overbuilt knife, most of them you'll find are just irritating to carry. They're just so big that, the novelty of pulling it out and wow, this big crazy thing, it's fun for a little bit, but it'll wear off, especially if your pants fall down repeatedly. This is big, it's large, it's heavy, but it's not so big that you can't carry it. It actually doesn't take up, versus, other overbuilt knives, too much room in the pocket. It also is beautifully easy to manipulate. Cutting geometry for such a big, thick knife, not bad. Flipper tab works really well. Very easy to manipulate the lock bar. Now, this particular one looks really cool. I've got my fingerprints all over it, so my hand oils are kind of doling the colors here. Let me wipe this off real quick. But it looks really, really cool. It's got a nice high polish to it. You'll probably pay a little bit more for this guy. But if you don't like slippery surfaces, I can tell you this is quite slippery. If you want the same knife but a little better grip, the Miguron Arma V2 is contoured and I think textured. I mean, the standard one of these is just flat with like horizontal texturing, maybe diagonal texturing. But your Arma V2 or your Arma 2, whatever they call it, if it's still available on their website, which again, the link down in the description will take you there. Diamond texturing, a little easier to grip. Still very, very cool. I like the ano. It's a nice way to get that colorful look, almost like Timascus without actually paying for Timascus. Timascus being a titanium Damascus, 2 or more compositions of titanium and other materials. And the titanium anodizes at different rates, giving it that swirly, colorful look. Lightning ano is not the same thing. It's just a single composition of titanium. And the process, I can't remember. I've watched somebody do it. It's kind of interesting. But the end result is a lot of different colors and kind of wavy, cool lines and stuff like that. And of course, you can have a nice high polished surface. Very cool. I will, like I said, have this link down below. I've already reviewed the Arma. It's cool. It's basically what I said. It's a well-designed knife that's thick and crazy and chunky. Honestly, if you took this exact profile and slimmed it down a bit, it would just be like a straightforward, generic, good EDC knife. The special thing about this knife really is just that it's thick, but not too thick to where you can't EDC it. Pretty cool. Nice variation of this knife. That's going to be it. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex. So go right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.